Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, and today we have a taste of something that we haven't had a taste of in a little while. Uriah Heep doing a cover song. This song is called Across the Miles, was originally recorded by Survivor, and you may know Survivor if you're a fan of Rocky movies. The songs Burning Heart, the song Eye of the Tiger. You know, these are songs written by Survivor that were licensed in Rocky movies. I'll tell you a little story about that in a minute. But this was released on their Too Hot to Sleep album in 1988. Uriah Heep would cover it a decade later in 1998 on their album Sonic Origami, which we are working our way through. We're getting down to the last handful of songs here already. Gosh, the season has just gone so fast, but the music has been great. Band is just on fire, writing some really amazing stuff. And this song was written by Jim Peterick and Frank Sullivan. I don't know why Uriah Heep chose to cover the song. I don't know what it was specifically that inspired them to do it, but there must be something in the song that they were like, you know, we should do this song. And then four other heads nodded and said, all right. Or three other heads nodded and said, all right. And one other head said, yeah, all right, fine. If that's what you guys want to do, I'll do it. Who knows? But in any case, this was also released as a single in the US, down to an edited version, which did not come on the deluxe CD. And that's fine, because most of the time with the edited versions, I find there really isn't anything to share with you guys as far as content goes, because it's the same song just chopped down. You know, sometimes the ending fade is a little bit different or the beginning is a little bit different, but for the most part, the bulk of the song is the same. So no need to worry about that. But very interesting to pick Survivor. They were a good band. You know, they had a really solid sound. And a couple of things I could tell you about them with Eye of the Tiger. That was not actually the first song that was written for Rocky III. There was a song called You're the Best, written by Esposito, that you guys may know from The Karate Kid. That song was actually written for Rocky III and was declined. And if you listen to the lyrics, and you guys know I'm not a big lyric guy, but I heard about this and I looked at it, and it does make a lot more sense. If you listen to the actual lyrics of You're the Best, they fit Rocky III a lot more than they do The Karate Kid. That song would be optioned for several movies and ended up in The Karate Kid, obviously. But it was originally written for Rocky III. The other story that I can tell you about Eye of the Tiger is a personal one. Back before the days of COVID, I would walk the Las Vegas Strip, at least once a week, usually from Tropicana all the way down to the Venetian, sometimes down to the Wynn Hotel or Encore, and come back, just depending on how far I wanted to go that night. And one night I was at just about the end of the walk. I was exhausted. For some reason, I don't know if maybe I walked too fast that night or whatever, but I was just exhausted. And I had one more escalator to go up before I crossed over to go to my car. And the escalator was off. Now, it's probably 2 a.m. at this point, and I'm just tired. I'm like, I really don't feel like doing that. There's no other way to get across the street. So just as I was walking towards it, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do it, Eye of the Tiger started playing on the speaker system. See, if you guys haven't been to Vegas, almost everywhere you go, you hear at least one piece of music. Sometimes there's two that are blending into each other. Sometimes there's people that walk with their boom boxes, just selfishly blasting their own personal music out to everyone. And so you hear a combination of sounds, but almost everywhere there's music playing. Not so much right now in the COVID times, but before that. And so there's always a speaker or something around. And the one that I was near just happened to start playing Eye of the Tiger. It's almost like somebody was watching and felt my dread about climbing those stairs and were like, I'm going to pump him up. I mean, it could not have been timed more perfectly. So those are my two Eye of the Tiger stories. Survivor is a good band. They have a really good sound to them. I love the singer's voice. I love the sound they get in the studio. Very solid players too. But they're most known for probably Eye of the Tiger and Burning Heart. Burning Heart was in Rocky IV, and I'm not sure. I feel like they must have done something after that, but I don't think there was anything from them in Rocky V or in Rocky Balboa. I could be mistaken. I can't really recall the music to either of those films right now, but definitely Rocky III and Rocky IV. So let's see what they did with this song. This is Uriah Heep's version, of course. So again, there becomes a lot more speculation when reviewing a cover song without knowing the original song. I've never heard it, but without knowing it, it's like, did Uriah Heep come up with that idea? Is that their way of doing the song? Was that part of the original? Are they keeping true to it? Are they really making it a Heep version? All kinds of questions. So I'm not going to get into a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm really just going to talk about what I hear. And that's how we're going to do today's episode. So let's get a listen to Across the Miles by Uriah Heep. What an interesting feel to this song. I love the sound of the guitar. I love that it sounds kind of a little bit thinner than we're used to hearing. I think that really suits this well. It really kind of gives me more of an island feeling than anything else. I mean, between the percussion and that sort of playing on guitar really just makes me feel like I'm out on the beach. There's palm trees around. The wind is blowing through the hair I don't have. But I love that there's percussion in it too. That's something that we haven't heard in a very long time with Uriah Heep. And it's just, some really gentle stuff, but it sounds really, really well in the mix. Sounds big, much bigger than it actually is. And that's pretty cool. And then we've got some really nice organ in the background, good groove. This is an interesting feel for Uriah Heep. It definitely feels very commercial though too. And the sound, the mix of it just feels like something that could be in a movie. Wow, what a painful vocal delivery. And I don't mean that in like it's painful to listen to or it was a painful performance, but I mean, you feel the pain of the story in Bernie's voice. It's really nice. It's something completely different to in this particular style for him. I also like the bass. The bass is coming through a little bit louder than you normally would, and it's really overbalanced over the guitar, but yet somehow it works. The guitar would normally have a little more bottom end to it that would blend better with the bass, but it's almost like they took it out of the guitar and are just letting the bass cover it. Really interesting, but wow, what a vocal delivery from Bernie. Wow, I love the introduction of the piano there. That's really nice. I love those heavier chords just kind of coming in but blending. They came in with a little bit of power, but they didn't override the mix at all. They stayed in there very nicely, and I thought that was great. That's some really good engineering right there.
Just close your eyes.
Yeah, that's just very powerful. I mean, you feel such a sense with this. It's kind of overwhelming when you're just focused on the emotion of the song. And very, very well performed, well played. I would have to say well written, whether it was Uriah Heep that created this or Survivor that created this feeling in the song. Either way, it's absolutely stunning.
As the miles go by, cities come and go. When you close your eyes and listen to the radio, girl, can you hear my song? The signal is clear and strong across the miles tonight.
Another thing that's really keeping the song just moving along on that gentle bed of sound is the shaker that I'm hearing far in my right ear. There is a little bit of shaker in the left ear, but that's only on, I think, 1/4 note for every measure, and then the rest of it's in the right ear. And it really sounds good. It's just, it's like the engine to the train that that just keeps it moving. And yeah, that's very good use of a shaker, but also, kind of goes back to that island theme I was talking about.
And I am sending this message through the wires tonight. Just close your eyes and hold on tight. And here I am, concentrating, girl, with all my might. Now the sound of your laughter trails off across the mind.
If you listen to the way Bernie says trails off, there is an incredibly fast delay on that. Really sounds good with that reverb too. Nice effect, I have to say. Very nice effect. And we've heard it in those spaces before, like that third line before the break or before the transition, where they'll put an effect on Bernie's voice and leave him a little bit of room before he has to sing again, so that can, kind of fade out. But I really like that effect. And of course, just, the pitches his voice is hitting at this point, especially as we kind of dial it down to hit the next part, just absolutely stunning. It really makes this song. Well, that's a lot of soloing for a song that's about a minute and a half worth. And it really works. So, it would be so easy to overplay a song like this, but Mick really just keeps it right in that pocket of where the song goes, how it feels. And he just enhances that for that whole time. I love the little fade-ins of vocals there. A really nice touch. Normally what Heap would have done if this was their song, would have just repeated the chorus a couple of times, then stopped and had the music keep going and had Mick solo, and Lee Kerslake comes in with some drum fills and stuff. But this was a little bit different of an approach. I really liked it. I thought the vocals coming in very gently was a really nice touch. Just a powerful song. I think they did a great version of it. Having not heard what Survivor did with it, I can say as a standalone, just listening to this and taking it for what it is without comparisons, I think it sounds fantastic. A very, very great rendition and a very powerful song from every performer on here. Great stuff, guys. So that will do it for the week. We're out of here. We will be back on Monday, and we'll be hitting our last 3 songs from Sonic Origami next week, and then hitting season 21 already. Getting there. Definitely getting there. You guys have a great weekend. Please take a moment to do something nice for yourself. Taking a moment to do something nice for someone else. It's not that hard, guys. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!